Well, let's bring you up to date now on the situation in the Middle East. Israel has renewed calls for people to leave parts of Southern Gaza as its forces expand their military operation there. Well, let's get more with our military analyst, Sean Bell, who joins us now. And Sean, just tell us more. We know that the campaign is now ramping up across the whole of the Gaza Strip.
Yeah, good afternoon, Jane. The CDI-IDF Commander General has actually said that the operations in the north are largely coming to an end. We understand there's still about a week or so more, but they're going to expand grounder operations into new areas. It seems unlikely that the IDF have actually taken out all the tunnels in northern Gaza, but there's widespread reports that 400 access points have either been destroyed or actually sealed off. But it's pretty clear they're extending their bombing campaign now down to the south of Gaza, bombing overnight at the Rafah area, Rafah city, which a lot of that was left in rubble. The IDF have also issued evacuation orders for personnel around the Khan Yunis area. Of course, that's the home of Yahya Sinwar. And all of this is on the backdrop of growing US concerns about the number of casualties, and more needs to be done. It's also worth pointing out that over the last couple of hours, Hamas has also declared that they've put a missile barrage on Ashkelon, the Israeli city of Ashkelon. But that's worth remembering, that does fall under the Israeli Iron Dome system. So hopefully everybody's OK there.
So how are they going to carry out this operation and limit civilian casualties in Gaza? Because that is the big concern, isn't it?
It is a massive concern. Under phase one, where, of course, the Israelis managed to move most of the population down to the south, and even then, they ended up with allegedly over 15,000 civilian casualties. So when phase two starts, increased population density, particularly around Khan Yunis and down here, almost certainly will result in more casualties. And therefore, what the IDF seem to be doing is using these maps now, where they're breaking up the region into grid sections. Very difficult to see the detail, but the idea is that people in those grid sections, when they're advised, have to move out. And today's map, which we're showing you here, shows all those areas in orange here that they have to move out of the area at a specific date and time around the Khan Yunis area. Now, the population are advised to move to safe areas, but one of those safe areas is a place called Mawazi, which is out on the coast. And the problem is that's just not ready. It's not ready for anybody to arrive there. It's farmland, and it appears that what's happened is the IDF has tried to encourage the United Nations to build a tent city there, ready to focus all the humanitarian effort. But in harsh reality, there's just nothing there. And the United Nations have said they're not prepared to be complicit in any mass displacement. It's also worth pointing out on those maps, there's a QR code which people are meant to use. That needs a functioning internet. It needs people with mobile phones and power. All of those are in short supply at the moment. And of course, as a military guy, you don't normally tell your enemy you're about to come in. So it's very difficult to see how these maps are actually going to work in practice.
Now, a bit further away, but in the same region, the US military said that 3 commercial vessels have been attacked in the Red Sea. What do we know about that? What more details are coming in?
Yeah, this all happened yesterday. 3 commercial vessels, Red Sea, just fairly close to Yemen. And actually, the United States ship Carney was actually responding to a distress signal and went to their aid and ended up shooting down 3 armed drones. The 3 vessels involved were the Unity Explorer, the Number 9 and the Sophie 2. There was various reports of damage, none serious, and there don't appear to be any casualties at the time. Now, the Houthi rebels have claimed responsibility for this attack. They seem to be targeting ships that have any links whatsoever to Israel, and they seem to be targeting any Israel ships that are going to be going through the Red Sea at all, prevent them going. What's worth pointing out here is the Bab al-Mandeb Strait here, which is the most vulnerable point. It's just off the coast of Yemen. It's only about 10 kilometres wide, and it's worth pointing out that 10% of the world's shipping goes through that. Final point, though, is that the UK has recently sent HMS Diamond, which is one of its state-of-the-art warships. It's also got very good air defence capability, and that's been pushed around to the Persian Gulf, but it may well be redeployed if this tension continues over the coming days.
OK, Sean, thanks very much.